What is smart? Book smarts? Street smarts? IQ? EQ? Can it be tested? Taught? Bought? Now that's not smart. Or is it? Let's expand our minds, people. Smart is her. It's him. And they don't care if you judge them. They're not in pursuit of a fallback career. They're in pursuit of purpose. Smart is crafting your why. It's knowing failure is success in progress. It's picking a college that prepares you for any challenge. It's finding your calling and your place to become. So, what kind of smart are you?
Are you ready? Ready to go? Are you ready? Ready for more? Are you ready?
Hello, Chicagoland Broncos, and welcome to our first ever live from Kalamazoo. I'll be your host. My name is Kristen DeVries, and when I am not serving as a talk show host, I serve Western Michigan University as the Vice President of University Advancement and Executive Director of the WMU Foundation. Now, there are 7,500 of you Broncos living in Chicagoland, and we are proud of each and every one of you, especially since you're the largest group of alumni that we have outside of the state of Michigan. You may have gotten home from your job at Jewel Osco or Gallo or Aerotech or any of the other hundred of companies that we know you work for. You probably graduated from food marketing, maybe sales. Perhaps you're one of those engineers helping us solve a lot of problems out there in Chicago. For each of you, we are very, very grateful. And tonight, we have a special program. I spoke earlier today with President Edward Montgomery, and he shared with me what he loves about the Chicago area, as well as what Western is doing today to solve some of the problems that you all see in your neighborhoods on a daily basis. He's also going to talk about what's next and what's great about Western Michigan University, so stay with me. Can't wait to share. Well, hello, President Montgomery. We've been talking a lot today about Chicago, and as you know, my husband and I both lived in Chicago for a while. We didn't actually meet until we both moved to Dallas, but I know that you also have a personal connection to Chicago, and while you haven't been to visit for a little while, tell me about a recent trip that you've enjoyed.
Well, so I do have a connection. My mom is a product of Chicago, and so I have all kinds of family on the South Side, and including my brother's son and his daughter-in-law, and so we have family there. And every time we go back to Chicago, we take the opportunity to visit them, as well as to take in the sights. So one of our most recent trips, all of our family got together and took in a Chicago Cubs game. Now, I realize Southside people are supposed to like the White Sox, but we had to try Wrigley Field for the first time.
Of course you did.
And so that was a wonderful experience. And then we went up to Streeterville Plaza and hung out on the rooftop and got to participate in that wonderful view of the city and all of the games there. And of course, one of the last times I was there, we got to meet some Broncos at a great event at the Rock Bottom Brewery, which was a fantastic event. So Chicago always warms my heart. Love the food, love the people, whether you're talking about pizza. I'm not going to say which is the best pizza now. I don't want to choose sides, but let's just say Chicago hot dogs, definitely the best.
It definitely is. And what are you looking forward to doing there next?
Well, you know, we always love going along Lake Michigan. Lakeshore Drive is always a fantastic place to visit and walk and see the architecture and see the city. And of course, my wife loves to go to Water Tower Plaza and shop. And so we expect to probably do some of that the next time we're there. And again, we got a lot of Broncos from Chicago. And so having the opportunity to get to see more of them would be wonderful as well.
And I hate to take this conversation in a dark turn, but I actually read in the Trib recently that in 2020, there were more traffic deaths than in any year since 2007, even though there were far fewer cars on the road. I know at Western we're actually doing work around transportation and trying to improve that so we don't see statistics like that anymore. Tell us about what's going on at transportation.
So, you know, Transportation has always been a central thing in the Midwest, in Michigan and Kalamazoo, all the way back to the days when we had a Fisher Body plant in town. And so in the Midwest, obviously the car kind of makes the region. It creates the middle class, creates opportunities, allows us to move, and Chicago's been a hub of that. From the days when the Port of Chicago was one of the biggest ports in the country, to the days when the train center was Chicago, to now O'Hare Airport, or cars. It has been a transportation hub and capital. And so it's natural that Western would have a focus on it. We have a transportation research center. It's a partnership with 4 other different universities looking about what do we do about transportation in the future? How do we think about the role of autonomous vehicles? How do we protect people in a different environment where cars are operated in a different modes, where crossing the road may have different kinds of structures? And so we're focused not just on the engineering, which is a central part of vehicles, but we're also on that human interaction. What does it mean for you as a pedestrian? What does it mean for the way we think about and construct cities to have new transportation centers? So we're bringing together engineers, but also psychologists, but also people who are specialists for the blind, also people for the hearing impaired. And so all of those are parts of the talent we're bringing to think about the 21st century transportation center system here at Western.
And over the past few months, we've been in a global pandemic. And so it certainly has shifted the way we've educated our students at Western Michigan. But I will say, we haven't just kept our heads down and focused on ourselves. We've been looking up and seeing what's been going on in the broader community. What do you see as the future, and what is Western doing to help the rest of us when the pandemic is over?
You know, I think there's some very real challenges that are likely to linger after the pandemic. Obviously, the consequences today are real and tangible, but there's a disconnect that's happened because we've been locked up, because we haven't been able to get out and socialize, because our children haven't been able to go to school in a traditional kind of way. And one of the areas which we're really concerned is what has been the impact on children, because schools serve not only as a place to get education, they serve as a place to get meals for many, many children, and they become a place where it's a safe space. The teachers, the guidance counselors, the principals serve as people who check on how our kids are doing. And so what we're worried about as a social phenomenon is that we're getting an increase in the amount of child abuse cases, that we're getting children who are going to be traumatized because of their being locked in, not being able to get out of their houses, and also not being able to be in touch with others around them. And so we've created a resiliency center here at Western. We got a $1.6 million grant from the state to allow us to do research, and more than do research, to actually treat young children, teenagers as well, for the effects of abuse or trauma that they may have suffered in a variety of different ways, so that they can go on and reform their lives. And so this is a really important new initiative that was important before COVID-19, but now because of COVID-19, even more critical.
So you talked about one new initiative that we have, but you've been at Western for almost 4 years. What else has changed? What's different since you first came to Western?
Well, you know, it's remarkable. Western has changed both in terms of our academic offerings and in terms of how we look as a campus. On the academic side, we've changed the core curriculum, those basic classes that everybody has to take. We've restructured them, and it was a great faculty-led effort to establish Western Essential Studies, a whole new look at our basic curriculum. We've established, with addition to our curriculum, thinking about how do we enhance and use advising more? How do we use and access career pathways more? How do we make sure that students are plugged into outside activities, how they find their passions, whether it's through our signature programs? So what we teach on the campus, how we teach them on the campus, has been changing over the last couple of years. That's paralleled our efforts on the physical side. we realize that our students are expecting something different in the 21st century. They want to both be able to get out and to interact with each other. They want spaces where technology is readily available. And so we've been changing the physical look. Most of that's been concentrated on the south side of our campus, down by Draper Schleeschlag, and so we've built a new 6-story residence hall, Acadia Flats, a beautiful set of I think 197 apartments in it. When I got to tour it, I was telling some of the trustees that these apartments are so nice, I'd like to move in myself and have an office in one of the floors. You just get a beautiful vista of the city, and it's fantastic residential experience. But that residential experience is in service of the educational mission. It's structured in such a way that students get that kind of interaction. And so we're changing the physical side of the campus at the same time as we're matching up with the academic side, both so that our kids can get prepared for the jobs of the future.
So not only are you our president, you're also the parent of an alum Bronco. And I know that you and he frequently run into future potential students. And just like our Chicago alumni, I always like to know, how do you talk about Western? And if you were talking to a 16, 17-year-old, how is it that you would like our alumni to recruit, and how do you recruit new students yourself?
Well, you know, for our alum, I remind them about what made Western special for them. And as a parent, I really see it in my own son. He came to Western and he found a set of mentors. He found faculty and advisors who saw him as more than just a student number. Saw him as somebody to take under their wing, to open up the possibility, to give him a little tough love sometimes, and to push him so that he could reach his potential. And that's the essence of what our alums tell us over and over and over again is special about Western. They find somebody on this campus who cares about them. Surveys say 94% of our students found some member of the faculty or staff who really cared, who went that extra mile to make Western a special experience. And so when you have that, and then you tie first-rate academics, where you have a whole range of majors, a whole range of career opportunities, and now you're integrating that with career services, you're integrating it with internships, you're integrating it so that students find their passion and they can find their purpose in life, and then you're integrating that with mental health services to support them and build that resiliency to get over the hump. That makes Western an incredible place. It builds from its core strengths and now has been adding these extra components to support students to launch them not just for a great job. 94% of our students find a job within 3 months. Most of them, overwhelming majority of them, in their major, in an occupation that they like. But it's more than that. They're preparing them for the rest of their lives, a life well lived, that full experience, that 24/7 experience, and that's part of what we're preparing them for at Western now. And so this is a place, we're calling it Rethink Smart. It's not just your brains and your academics and your grades. It's how are you prepared as a citizen, as a human being, to live a rich, full life. And that's what Western's doing.
Well, thanks very much for your time today. Any thought you'd like to leave our Broncos with?
Well, you know, it is always a great day to be a Bronco, and so it's been a fantastic experience being at this campus, to work with Western, to work with the people who have this incredible passion for our mission so that all may learn.
Go Broncos!
Go Broncos.
Well, this fall, WMU welcomed 358 Broncos from the Chicagoland area, and we already have received 3,000 applications for next fall. So we certainly are looking forward to a lot of growth from Chicago area students looking to finish their education at Western Michigan University. And one of the students already at WMU is Henry. He's a graduate of Carl Sandburg High School, and I couldn't be more proud to introduce you to him.
My name is Henry Targos. I'm a sophomore here at Western Michigan, and I'm currently enrolled in the aviation program. I'm from Orland Park. It's great because it's right near Chicago and O'Hare. So I basically grew up with aviation. My entire family, they're all pilots. My dad, uncle, my sister, mom, brother. So my dad, he's currently a captain on a 787 for United. That's a Big thing that everyone asks me, hey, do you fly with your dad a bunch? Because, honestly, I've only done it once. But it was a fun flight. It was to like Hawaii or something. I went to Carl Sandburg High School. I played hockey for about 10 years, so that was a lot of fun. I also did a few like clubs. There was an improv kind of comedy club that we were all in. So I learned about Western Michigan through my sister. She was the first one in our family to come here, and she said that she had a phenomenal time here, and it's been basically the same thing for me. The teachers, the instructors here, they know what they're doing. The flight program is one of the better ones in the country. The fleet that we have here is so up to date, so new. Cirrus SR-20s, SR-21s, Piper Seminoles, Super Decathlons, and they're all amazing aircraft. Besides flying, obviously, I'm involved in the Alpha Eta Rho fraternity. And for anyone who wants to get involved in aviation, you make so many connections, so many friends, and learn so much about just aviation as a whole that it's basically the place to go if you want to make any major advancements in your career for the long term. The current plan would be get a job as a CFI or certified flight instructor here at Western. Basically teach for a little while, grow my hours or flight hours here. If you're looking to get into aviation, Western has, like I said before, it has a phenomenal program. It prepares you for what you're going to face in the real world. So if you're planning on going to, regional carriers or anything like that, it is a perfect place to start. So I just want to thank everyone that has helped me so far, be it from my siblings or my instructors, professors. They've helped me a lot through my education. One person, probably my dad. He's done so much for my family. He's given so much for my education, for my siblings' education. I think I have everything to thank for him so far. 10, 15 years from now, I would see myself probably at either a regional carrier, build up hours there for a few years, and then go to some of the bigger airlines and shoot for the sky.
At Western Michigan University, we are focused every day on helping students like Henry be successful. But we are also focused on the long-term success of all of you alumni like Sarah Husain, who currently serves as your president of the Alumni Association Board. Now, Sarah's going to tell you a little bit about her story, part of which includes her sojourns far away from Kalamazoo and how she learned how to stay connected to fellow alumni as well as to the university.
Greetings from Kalamazoo, fellow Broncos. I'm Sarah Husain, president of the WMU Alumni Association. Thank you for welcoming me into your home tonight. I was born and raised in Kalamazoo, so this is my home. During high school, I took a campus tour of Western and fell in love with all that the school had to offer. As a business student, I had the opportunity to do an internship at Stryker Corporation at their Kalamazoo headquarters. After I graduated, that internship led to a full-time role at Stryker and eventually a job at Apple in San Jose, California. After spending the last 7 years in the Bay Area, I just moved back to Kalamazoo last year with my husband and daughter for a new role I took at Stryker. Whether here or on the West Coast, Western has always had a special place in my heart. Like many of you, WMU is where I studied and launched my career. It is the place where I learned the ins and outs of the classroom, and it's also the place where I developed lifelong friendships. It was these friendships with my fellow Broncos that have kept me connected to Western all these years later. As an alumni ambassador, I love sending postcards to the incoming freshman class each year, welcoming them to campus. I also have had the pleasure to be a guest judge for the WMU Medallion Scholarship Competition. And by staying connected to Western, I have the privilege of mentoring several students and young alumni, which has been an amazingly rewarding experience watching students develop into the next generation's future leaders. As alumni, we are part of a community of over 250,000 Broncos who call WMU their alma mater. Together, we are the WMU Alumni Association. A year ago, the association conducted a survey of our members. We have used the results of this survey to develop and offer new ways for our alumni to stay connected. First, many of you are participating in the WMU Alumni Book Club. Together, we are reading and discussing our 5th book using our specially developed online platform. Second, this past year, we launched the Campus Chat series. These Zoom meetings reunite alumni with some of their favorite campus faculty and staff for a casual conversation. Our next Campus Chat is March 24th, featuring Mark Delory, the former Director of Financial Aid. We've also scheduled a chat on April 15th with Diane Anderson, Vice President of our Student Affairs. For over 2 decades, Diane has been a champion for students, working tirelessly to ensure that each student at WMU has a chance to succeed. We're excited to have an informal conversation with both Mark and Diane in the coming weeks, and we look forward to your participation. Third, we plan to launch an oral history project to collect and preserve your Bronco story. Be on the lookout for more information for this project in the coming months. And finally, we are looking forward to our first ever WMU Alumni Spirit Week in April. Please mark your calendars and join us for a jam-packed week full of fun Bronco events starting on April 11th. During the Alumni Spirit Week, we will debut this year's Distinguished Alumni Award recipients. We will also host several virtual reunion gatherings, and we will raise funds for student scholarships during WMU's Giving Day. For more information about our Alumni Spirit Week and all the other incredible networking opportunities and events our Alumni Association has to offer, please visit our website, wmualumni.org. That's wmualumni.org. So, my fellow Broncos, I want to thank you for your dedication to Western. As members of the WMU Alumni Association, you are part of a global network of Broncos who are connected through our shared experiences as WMU students. Even if you haven't stayed involved in the past, I want you to know that the WMU Alumni Association is here for you to connect to Western and to the rest of your Bronco family. You are important to us, and we really hope you'll stay in touch. Have a wonderful night, and don't forget, it's always a great day to be a Bronco.
Now, everyone knows you cannot have a nighttime talk show without having some music, especially when you're in Kalamazoo and we have the world-renowned College of Fine Arts right here at WMU. So tonight, for your enjoyment, we have McKenna Plath and Kevin O'Neill singing Yours, Yours, Yours from the musical 1776, proving that even during a global pandemic, the show must go on.
I live like a nun in a cloister, solitary, celibate, I hate it. And you, John?
I live like a monk in an abbey, ditto, ditto, I hate it.
Write to me with sentimental effusion. Let me revel in romantic illusion.
Do you still smell of vanilla and spring air? And is my favorite lover's pillow still firm and fair?
What was there, John, still is there, John. Come soon as you can to my cloister. I've forgotten the feel of your hand.
Soon, madam, we shall walk in Cupid's grove together. We'll fondly survey that promised land. Till then, I am as I ever was and ever shall be. Yours, 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 yours.
Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I really would like to know what you thought. Did you enjoy what you heard? Is there something you'd like to learn more about? Or maybe there's a way that we can improve. Please send me an email. I'm at kristen.devries@wmitch.edu, or you can just log on to wmualumni.org to see what we've got going on. We'll leave you now with a special performance of School of Music faculty. This is the Western Jazz Collective with special guest Kevin Jones on percussion. Thank you and good night.
What is smart? Book smarts? Street smarts? IQ? EQ? Can it be tested? Taught? Bought? Now that's not smart. Or is it? Let's expand our minds, people. Smart is her. It's him. And they don't care if you judge them. They're not in pursuit of a fallback career. They're in pursuit of purpose. Smart is crafting your why. It's knowing failure is success in progress. It's picking a college that prepares you for any challenge. It's finding your calling and your place to become. So, what kind of smart are you?